All right, we live.
Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glories to
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakatadash.
when they give up honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone who taught us this 100% truth according to the spirit to be Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Peace and blessing to the hopeful elect after a portion of his word through the four corners of the earth and true sincerity. They always say Shalom. We back here again to the power spirit of Yahweh Yahushai on a Saturday. The younger brothers class, and that's the title go, Daniel 3, in the prayer of Azariah. It's gonna be open forum, but I want to go into those specific chapters. Of course, Azariah is mentioned in the book of Daniel, Daniel 3, right? So we're gonna start off with that Daniel 3, and we're gonna read pretty much to the point to where they actually start to get when they get casted into the fire. And I just kind of want to go into because the prayer of Azariah kind of gives a better insight on kind of what was his mindset when he was looking at the fire, and that mindset, which of course is many mindsets. That mindset he had is very pivotal because it's a humbling mindset that he has in there. And you even hear a reference for that mindset in Daniel 3 when you read it. So we can start at Daniel 3 and 1. Baba Shah.
What's Daniel chapter 3, verse 1? Where you get it? This is Daniel chapter 3, verse 1. And it says, Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of the rock in the province of Babylon.
Yeah, so you see Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, he had a golden image, you see. And of course, we go into this chapter all the time. Similar to what Esau's going to do in earth. Esau's got his image that he's trying to establish, and you have to bow down to it. And if you don't bow down to it, there'll be consequences for it. You see, and we have an example right here of 3 men, even Daniel himself too. But in this chapter, example of 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, which did not bow down to that image. You see, you go ahead, bro.
Daniel 3 and 2. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Exactly. So Nebuchadnezzar had everybody. Everybody. You have to come pay homage to this image that I built up. This idol, essentially. Everybody. Well, nobody exempt. Go ahead.
Verse 3 says, Then the princes, the governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you shall fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up.
Yep. Just going on to the aspect of Nebuchadnezzar and the idol that he's setting up, pretty much. And like I said earlier, this is very similar to what Esau's doing today. Esau's trying to set up his idol, and you're going to dance to his song, essentially. Scripture speak about how the prophets are up there and we piped unto and we have not danced. You see, and that's the thing with a lot of these people. They're not piping, they're not coming back to obedience of the scripture, but they are dancing to the theme song of Esau. Essentially, a lot of these niggas out here, the wicked nations, they already really took the seat of spirit. They already took it, you see. We just gonna see a physical manifestation of it, but they've already took it.
Tell them why,
Yes,
Daniel 3 and 6. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth the same hour, be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, flute, harp, sackbut, and psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, the languages, fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
See, they submitted. You see, which that's what's going to happen now. 99% of the world is going to submit unto the system that Esau's trying to bring into the earth. And it's going to be a small number that's not going to submit to that system being the elect.
Hey, what Trump say? It's the golden age of America.
Exactly. See, he said it's the golden age of America. It never connects the golden image. You see, so you see the similarities. Now, could you pull that Baba Shah, because in that chapter, it's gonna mention those men, but they was a representation of the elect. They are the elect, but they was a representation for the elect to look back toward and see, like, okay, these men, same situation, same scenario. What? They didn't bow down to that image. See, they stayed and they get their loyalty to Yahweh Bahashim Shah.
And these were the king's seeds, that descended from King David. When you read that, I believe it's Isaiah the 32nd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's like the 38th and 39th chapter. It's prophet Isaiah, told King Hezekiah, which King Hezekiah came from the loins and lineage of King David, but he told him that your sons, your seed is going to go into Babylon. And when you read in Daniel the first chapter, it goes into that seed line, of King David that came into Babylon. So Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, we're about to read, they're part of King David's lineage, but it's the house of David. So the house of David has the mindset of not bowing.
Okay, the elect. But you got it.
Okay. This is Romans 11:4. It says, I'm gonna read verse 3. It says, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and dig down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
Exactly. The Lord has reserved 7,000 men. If I'm not mistaken, Paul's pretty much quoting what Elijah said. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
See, because Elijah was saying in the time you had a prophet of Baal out there, he pretty much said the same thing because he was the only prophet against him. But nevertheless, the Lord is saying, like, he had 7,000 that's not going to bow down to the image of Baal. And like the preacher mentioned, that's going to be the house of David, which we hope to be parts of the house of David. You see? We hope to be of the house of David, because the house of David is part of those first fruits. You see? They're going to be the beginning of the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. And they're not bow down to the system that Esau's bringing forth in the earth, same as they haven't bowed down to even prior systems before this. You see? They've always came up against them in the spirit of Yahweh. Now, we're not telling you to sit here, go make a what's it called, protest against the system. We're not saying that. You still got to follow the laws of the land. It's just when it gets to the point where they start to divert you from your path of serving Yahweh, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, we see who the house of Saul is too.
Yep.
The same individuals, the same camps that during the time of the year 2020, when that dragon juice was, being pumped inside of people. We see these particular camps, ICPK, IUIC, so on and so forth, telling their congregation, okay, clearly, man, hey, go get that dragon juice, keep your job. God, if you lose your job, God, get white man decide, So the Lord is making it clear. Okay, Malachi the 3rd chapter. Then shall you return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, him that serveth the Most High, and him that don't. But who told you to stand stiffly? Who told you during those times to have faith in the Lord? The men here at Great Millstone start with our apostles, man. So Operatus Hour would be a part of the house of David, right? Because it is prophesied that the latter days that the house of David is going to be raised up. So it's your job as a believer to discern, to try the spirits, see who's actually following the scriptures to a T like this, man.
Yeah.
Especially being the fact that what you see the things Esau doing in earth, man. We at the point where he's trying to establish a system. So that lets you know for sure that the house of David is here. Like you said. But you wait, let him finish this.
Okay.
But you get your point though. You get your point.
Okay.
The scripture, you get your point.
Well, I was just gonna say that's something that's only reserved for Yahweh Shah, to get everything bowed down into him. That knee bound, like it's we often bring it out on the right hand side, how you don't even when the angel visited John, he ain't even bow down to him. So how much more Yahweh Shah? But these niggas is bowing down already. Like you said, that example with the dragon juice, and here that's about to be soon prophesied, them bowing down to the MOTB. Yeah, we ain't even supposed to bow down to angels. Man. So they're bowing down to to really Satan, man.
Yeah. When you get that word bow in that verse, it goes into bend over, and we see that happening with niggas now.
Yeah,
niggas in the so-called truth as well.
Yeah.
That done sold. Done got the bag. Done bent over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all aligned, man.
To prostrate yourself You know, like like they call it prostrate. You know, like you got the prostration cancer, right? Prostate cancer. Yeah. Pretty much, cutting off your lineage, man. Yeah. Is what you do when you bow.
If I may add, I think even I remember Elder Pastor the Heart went into that. He's talking about Christmas. When the Christmas tree, one of the first things you have to do, you have to kind of bow down to put the presents under the tree. So that was kind of heavy.
So you have to go down on the knees.
Yeah, you have to kneel down. Exactly.
So you're basically giving over to an idol.
Yeah, well, you putting it or you're receiving it. You put the gifts down there, you get them from there. Yeah.
I got Matthew 16. Oh, was it more, mother?
Well, he gonna reread the precept, but you get your point out. Don't reread it. You go and get yours.
I want to go into that point that Brother Oswald was making about how these other camps tell their congregation, go get the dragon juice, do this, do that. Certain things that we're clearly not supposed to be doing here. Matthew chapter 16 and verse 25. It says, "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it." So ultimately, by them going and getting that juice, which that wasn't the exact MOTB, that is on the scene and that's coming as mandatory. All right. So by them saving their life, all right, all scared and shit, and then they falling into that snare that Esau's laying before them, then they're gonna be destroyed in it because Yahweh Shai is not gonna reward them with salvation when he comes. That's what they don't understand. You being in league with this world, all right, that puts you with enmity with the Father. You want to say?
Well, a lot of people that accept that negative, they are losing their lives. Right? They're losing their lives too.
Yeah.
Because they had faith in how much Shai. It's going to be the same thing that was at MOTB at the time. Having those boisterous swords and all that. But they're going to lose their life. Which they already did spiritually.
Right.
So
and like you saying that the scripture say, what should a man gain? Man gain the whole world but lose his own soul.
Yep.
You see, so that's essentially what a lot of people are gonna do. They're gonna try to gain the world, gain these particular things that they have on the side that Esau's already taken away, and they really have nothing. And they're gonna do it by taking the seal, bowing down to the image.
And what did Klaus Schwab say? He says that you will own nothing and you will love it, right? So you're gonna lose your life, to be put under captivity. Make it make sense.
I'm gonna finish it off. Matthew 16 and 25. "For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it." So the ones that are standing stiffly for the names of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, that have that true, sincere faith and truly and sincerely fear Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, they know not to take, all right, that juice for one, but of course the MOTB, that Revelation 13:16. And a lot of people, they're going to be put in that situation. Esau going to snatch up the food. It's going to be perilous times out here. All right, and they're going to be like, well, shit, I ain't got nothing else. It's just the only way out. And they're going to fold, and that's just going to be the end of them. While the elect, they're going to let go of this whole life. And they're going to say, to hell with you and your Dorito chip, And then Yahweh Shai is still going to save them, man. And the ones that do got to be martyrs, the ones that do got to go into the spiritual realm, they got to go to sleep, they're going to be raised up first.
Yeah. I want to pull a quick scripture for you real quick, because you mentioned the perilous time, right? So the brother gonna pull it real quick.
I got 2 Timothy 3:1.
Yeah. Read verse 2 also, but I think
Yeah, brother, am I speaking up just a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come on.
Think of 2 Timothy 3:1. "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of themselves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy."
You see, and all of these are the characteristics of the individuals you're speaking about. You see, because that's going to be perilous time, it's going to be hard to bear. So what's going to happen is the type of, I guess you could say, whatever they are, resource, metal and not being manifested. Not what you've seen in the time of the dragon dreams. A lot of people intentions got manifested. You see, because Esau really didn't threaten too much. He kind of gave it over to a lot of the jobs. He said, if your job told you that you can't work here, that you got dragon dreams,
Right.
then yeah, a lot of jobs really do that. And some jobs don't care. And then, when it comes to Jake, they let her find all these little loopholes in the system. But when it came to the dragon juice, there was no loophole. which we know people's over there doing particular things, having fake tests and things, whatever, but it shows you that a lot of people mindset in that time period, they was ready to submit. So when Esau brings when he brings the system, when he brings the seed up, that's the mindset they're gonna be in. They're gonna be ready to submit. They've already been ready to submit back in 2020. You see?
And Bob Bishop, I can add because that's the spirit that you brought the scripture out, 2 Timothy the 3rd chapter. In the last days, perilous time. Covenant book. Because when you read the book of Wisdom, Psalm, the 14th chapter, and it speaks about idolatry, those are all the same fruits and the byproduct of what happens. When society is given over to idolatry. So that's why you saw that degradation, moral degradation in the time of the dragon juice, and even right now, because this is ultimately a idol that Esau set up. Even when you get that word mark in the Greek, charagma, but when you look in one of the definitions, it says sculptor's idol. I'm roughly paraphrasing. So this is the results of idolatry.
And if I may add, that's what Esau wants to put inside. That idol worship.
Yeah, if he put it inside you, he gonna have that full control. Right now, people got cash; they can do certain things. You can be on the run, but when you got that thing inside you, ain't no running, ain't no nothing. That's it.
Full control.
You're the full. They already call you cattle, but you're gonna be literally the cattle for real.
He's gonna be a shepherd.
Yeah, that's the left hand side that the Esau is trying to play on. The left hand mimics the right. How the Lord is going to put our laws his laws into our hearts, right? Esau putting the laws of this world into their hearts, right? That's why you've seen a few years ago, what was it, like 2022, when those stones broke?
Yeah.
Somebody blew it up. Georgia Guidestones, they blew them up because those laws, that population control, all those plays, keeping the world's population on at a minimum. It had a bunch of laws on it.
500 million.
He broke them because the new covenant he trying to make is put it in your heart, man. Just like on the right hand side, the Lord is going to put, he gonna put this new covenant in us.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the part.
That's a beautiful point.
Real shit.
What is it called? That was it on that though.
When we go back to this,
read that verse again, and we'll jump back to the day.
kind of Romans 11:4. But what saith the answer of Yahweh unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal.
Exactly, which is the elect. The 144,000, the multitude, the Lord has already got them reserved from the foundation of the earth. But they were not going to bow down to the system that Esau was going to bring upon the earth. You see, as we're going into the example in Daniel 3, and then we're going to touch up on the mindset of the individuals that didn't bow down, because the mindset of the elect is going to be the same way, man. When we jump back to the Daniel 3, if nobody had nothing, let me jump back.
Yeah.
Okay, so like
I'm thinking of right now.
My
this
bad.
is Daniel chapter 3 and verse 6. Verse 6 says, and whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
Exactly. So it's going to be punishment. It's going to be punishment if you don't bow down to the image. The chucker is going to. Same thing as now.
Verse 7. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, the languages, fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came there and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hath made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and when you really listen to, like, I'm big into like the dulcimer and the harp. I listen to like, bro, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful melody. So like, this is the reason why Scripture has that recorded, because this was a very melodious, harmonious tune. So it's like, people by nature, we're attracted to, beautiful music. And that's exactly how Esau's packaging this whole system. It's just beautiful. It's captivating. Yeah. Music inspires people. So people are inspired, by this bullshit that Esau just playing, singing to them.
Mm-hmm. Can I get something?
Yeah.
Backing that up?
Yeah, you got it.
No, because that's a good point. This is Nahum 3 and 4. All right, it says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. And going into like what we're talking about in Daniel 3, it's a whole presentation that he's putting on. And it's basically to enchant, and basically cast a spell, upon all the subject of his kingdom, and to make them bow down. And that's what we see America doing through its music, through its media, right? Through this whole society that's built off of lust and envy, right? Things we went into in 2 Timothy 3, but it just goes to show you, even back then, they understood the power of, music, the power of these particular things.
It's a universal language.
Mm-hmm. But I just want to get that.
And that's why it says that there's no enchantment in his table. Because everybody else is caught to this lullaby, and being put to sleep.
We got the new song.
Yeah, we got the new song. So we're awake and moving, Just to say.
Hey, that's that Matthew 24, speaks about how if it was possible you could see the elect. So very well that you needed, this stuff that Esau was pushing forth. Even in this time period, it wasn't able to captivate the elect. The elect wasn't all moved by it. You see, they wasn't enchanted from it.
I don't know if y'all ever seen them clips of Michael Jackson when he's in the studio and he's got the live musicians and the people actually with the instruments and stuff like that. And he's like, no, that's not it. Like he's looking for a particular sound.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? and that was like the banger, the hit, you know what I'm saying? But it had to be just right. But that's the new song for us. It's just right. Versus everybody else in the world, they're just going with any melody, any soundtrack or whatever that they it's their flesh going.
Yep, and that's Yahweh Shah, and we are the instruments. We're the band.
Yeah.
Each brother playing his own, playing his part of the melody, man. But Yahweh Shah is the one, composing, orchestrating.
That's right.
The
maestro.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's that one band, one sound.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, you use the word composing, right? And you look at the composer, just like when we was in the wilderness, like to stay on beat, per se, you had to look at that serpent that was being lifted up.
Yeah.
If you want to stay on beat, you got to look at the composer because he might switch things. I don't know if y'all brothers have played.
They slow it down.
Yeah. He might do that just like he might practice a total different way. Then performance comes, and then he slows it just up a little bit to make it more dramatic. So you just got to pay attention.
How about chapter 1?
When the Lord is colder now, He created us. He will look at the body. It's like we have eardrums, we got windpipes, we got vocal cords. We literally are instruments, man. For Yahweh Shah.
I got one. This is going to Aaron and the choir in the temple, but this is the book of Sirach, chapter 50, and verse 16, because the priests are doing the same thing here in these times, 144,000 ordained prophets. Right, the priest after the order of Melchizedek, as we're singing a new song, so you can tie that in spiritually. This is Sirach 50 and verse 16. Then shouted the sons of Aaron and sounded the silver trumpets and made a great noise to be heard for a remembrance before the Most High. Then all the people together hasted and fell down to the earth. And who's doing that now? The elect. Those that's hearing this new song, okay, they're able to receive it, believe it. All right, it says, then all the people together hasted and fell down to the earth upon their faces to worship the Lord power, Alashaya, the Most High. The singers also sang praises. And who's the singers? Revelation 14. It says the singers also sang praises with their voices, with great variety of sounds. Because like the preacher just talking about, every brother got their own sound, but it's one band, one sound. Yeah, we got different instruments. Some brother may be the trumpet, more outspoken. Another brother may be the bass, keeping that tempo. Another brother may be, It says the singers also sang praises with their voices, with great variety of sounds was their made sweet melody. See? And you read that account in 1 Kings 8, the dedication of Solomon's temple, go into how the sons of Aaron, they were playing, they were singing, and it literally summoned the presence of Yahweh Shah. And that's what's happening now. Isaiah 19 chapter, we do sacrifice and oblation in the midst of the spiritual Egypt. Okay, we're literally summoning the presence of Yahweh Shah to come back and fuck this place up, man. Deliver us. That's the extent of this new song. While everybody else is dancing to the devil's tune, man. You know?
You said Chronicle 5th chapter, right?
Sirach 50. Sirach 50.
Yeah,
No, you was referring to when Yahushua came down off the chariot, or came down.
that's
Oh,
first
he
King
got-
David. Yeah.
Right, oh, okay.
That's right. And I was gonna say
Yeah, Chronicles, yep, Con, yep.
And like Scripture said, giving no rest to make Jerusalem praise in the earth.
Yeah.
But if we ain't got no more precepts or points, we jump into the
Daniel 3 and 10, it says, Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
You see, so in this time, this was like that point. They're forming like the persecution, They was like, didn't you say they got to bow down to that song? You get your top guys over here, they don't have no regard for it, you see. And it was like, since like the persecution, they was blaming they not bowing down, man. That they're gonna do, they're gonna do to the prophecy of the day. You see, when all these particular things happen, it's gonna be a group of men. They're gonna be like, it's y'all fault, man. Y'all want to take a seat here, y'all want to do nothing. So that was the nations, that was like a persecution, Went too crazy, but it was like, they see these guys not doing it.
Accusation.
Yep. You keep going though.
Daniel 3 and 13. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar, and what Yahweh shall tell us in Matthew 24th chapter, he said, "You shall be given up unto kings, and to go give testimony." My namesake.
What you say?
Daniel 3 and 14 says, Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, It is true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It said, you start with verse 14, so like it. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made, well. But if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands?
Exactly. So Nebuchadnezzar brought him a form. So he said, I want to see it from my own side. I want to see it from my own life. He heard the disrespect. He's like, let me make sure I'm tripping. But bring him before me. Let me see it from mine. Like the priest mentioned, how the prophets today, they're going to be brought before kings and priests, things like that. But the Lord is going to give us what to say in that hour. You see? So could you put that with the song real quick?
If I may add too, bro, because that's a very pivotal moment within that chapter. Because that's like the last opportunity for them to make. That's the final decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ultimate decision, ultimately. And in that moment, just thinking of yourself, like being in that moment, we just hope that the Lord had that same spirit upon us.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
That's a very pivotal moment because that's like, it's one thing to defy something, like how we're ultimately committing treason against Esau right now. It's sitting in the comfort of this living room, air conditioning, fan, lights, right? But it's another thing to commit that level of defiance, well in the face of like, if you like pretty much that final decision, that path being laid out before you. You know what I'm saying? So that's it.
Hey,
That's the ultimate decision. Right?
Yeah. Hey, you see that? I mean, you see they might make like comedy in a movie, nigga talking shit about somebody's bad. But then when they like, so who's all that stuff he's talking about? Oh, dude, and now he in front of the nigga. He like,
Stuttering and shit.
how fucking them out. They fold. You see, so like you said, that's a very pivotal point because like, there's one thing be out on the highways and byways. You gonna die. You saw we talking to the camera screaming. These son gonna be sitting here. We gonna be right in his face. These son gonna be like, point at the guillotine. Exactly. He gonna probably, who knows? We just, like you said, we just pray that the Lord has the spirit.
We're gonna be in that moment.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in that moment, the spirit was on them.
Yeah.
If I may ask, when in that moment, because there'll be certain of us brothers that'll be in that situation. All right, bro, just whatever precept come to mind. What's the first precept that will come to your mind in that moment? You think about that.
I got some
Revelation.
First Peter
10
4 and 12.
days.
Fiery trial.
Job.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine was
It'd be like
I was just
that.
because I was thinking about that. You got to really put yourself there.
Yeah.
Think about that Sirach 2:10.
Yeah.
We were called upon the Lord and was confounded.
Yeah. I was
Mhm.
thinking about strive for the truth unto death.
Man. These are our weapons.
Yeah.
These are weapons that it was heavy what you said, bro. Being put in that moment, like you just have to hope that the Lord gonna do what was written.
Yeah.
So automatically we're gonna snap into a Slim Jim on the precepts. And that right there is our power, bro. Beautiful.
Hey, that's all we have to hold fast to his word.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord, he gave a command. He said, you do these particular things, I'm gonna be there. So that's all we could do in that time was hold fast. What the Lord said, these particular things. And hold fast to that
That's
word.
it, bro.
That's all.
Hey, and if the Lord, as we're gonna continue reading, and if the Lord do let it be so, then fuck it.
Right.
You're gonna be raised up.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna happen as well.
Yep.
The Lord gonna
Yes,
be
sir.
delivering people out of even that situation. But hey, some people is gonna have to ride it all the way out.
That's it.
And hey, the Lord is gonna have the spirit on you, where you're gonna be able to take it.
Yeah, that's it.
What guillotine, whatever.
You're gonna take it.
The Lord is gonna be with his men. And you gotta know that. It can't be I might be man. Nah, you just gotta know the Lord is with me. Because you can't be in there thinking in your mind, damn, you before Trump. And you like, damn, am I a man? He like, you ain't even no man of the Lord. You're like, damn.
Yeah.
You can't know, bro. You gotta be fully persuaded in your mind.
Yeah.
You gotta have an immense amount of faith.
Yeah.
That's why we tapping into that now. We're preparing for that now.
Right now. There you go, bro.
I got a precept.
Yeah, you can.
I just got the one that I just said. 1 Peter 4 and 12. It says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you." And that's another thing too. Death by fire, like the situation we're reading about in Daniel 3. Death by fire. You know what I'm saying? That's that really taps into that carnal fear of death. So for them to conquer that shows you the level of fortitude and faith that they had. But it says 1 Peter 4 and 12, it says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as some strange thing happened unto you." And that's the reason why we go into these precepts, over and over and over again. Because when brothers are put in that situation, your first thought is going to be like, well, this is what we've been preaching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It ain't going to be it's going to be different for these other guys who've been diminishing, the word, not really going into it. They going to be the ones that are really condemned in the spirit.
Right.
Yeah.
But verse 13.
They like you saying that because they're gonna realize that carnal strength they thought they had is gonna be null and void. You put in a situation like that, like you're saying, we have the unbelievable to think about. We had that optimistic mindset. We get put in these certain situations. The Lord prepping us for it, like you said. That's how we can conquer the mindset of dying by death. The Lord said that. I mean, look at Stephen. Stephen was being stoned to death pretty much, but he didn't know it. He really looked up getting stoned. Like, if you kind of just look at that, if you set a person down, you throwing boulders at their ass, and they standing still, it's like shit. That's the individual throwing stones at him.
And he was looking at the glory of the Lord.
Yep.
He looked up and he was seeing the Lord.
Man, that was a beautiful punch, man, to rock about these other counts, man. Like Jake, that's in these debate spirits, bro.
Mhm.
When you literally face that ultimatum the preacher Paul was just talking about, and this whole time of this grace period, okay, you woke up to know you're Israelite, and you was in that debate spirit. What the fuck? How's that going to edify? How's that going to help you in that time? Or you got caught up in all these gimmicks with IUI. See a million niggas marching up and down the street. How the fuck is that going to help me when I'm literally, in the heat of the battle? Bro? I just remember some niggas shutting down traffic.
Right. You know what I mean? The only thing that is going to help you in that day, being faith-based.
That's it.
Faith is the only thing you're going to have when it's all said and done.
And what do they call us? faith-based Israelites.
That's right. I'll say it. That's why I said it. I'll say it.
Well, Chap, I can't like because when you brought up Stephen, I just want to read this because I asked Chap, was Stephen in pain when he was being stoned? It says the text does not explicitly say whether Stephen was physically felt pain from a human standpoint. Being stoned would normally cause great suffering, but Scripture emphasizes something different. His vision of Yahweh Shah and his prayer and his prayerful, peaceful spirit. Many interpreters believe his Holy Spirit gave Stephen supernatural comfort, or even dulled the pain, because instead of crying out in agony, he focused on forgiving his killers and seeing the Yahweh Shah.
Hey, don't not the scripture say, "My righteous self feeling no torment."
There you go.
Man,
So like that, you know, and you know, you got to particular things, these scary ass movies, whatever. These buzzing Jake out. Oh shit! Did you see criminal? Like the Lord, hey, no torment shall touch us. So you got to believe His word. It's gonna go back to your faith. You believe what the King said. You say, "Where the word of the King is their power." We believe that, and we looking at it in the street. We shouldn't have been. They believe it, but.
And barbershop, I'm mad, bro. Because on that point, even if they're, you know, because even if you do feel it, you know what I'm saying? Even if there is pain, like I believe, you know, through the Spirit, the Lord is going to put a spirit on us, man. Like Apostle Rakali saying, you gotta fuck the heat. You know, even if it is pain, it's like, yo, you gotta embrace that shit.
Yeah,
you're gonna have no choice but to embrace it. And in a lot of cultures, like when you look into, you know, like what's it gates of passage or rites of passage for boys to become the men, they would purposely put boys through painful experiences, because a lot of times pain is the door. It's really what teaches you. You know what I mean? Just wanted to make that point.
Precept back everything that you've been saying up. Yeah. Because when Stephen looked up, the scripture says in Acts 7:55, but he, being full of the Holy Spirit, looked up steadfastly into heaven and saw the glory of God and Yahweh Shah standing in the right hand of the Most High. You know, but just back, you know, he was in the Spirit when that took place.
Full of the Holy Spirit.
Not full of precept.
Yeah, you had to pull out.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For the souls of the righteous are in the hands of Yahweh Shemiel Shai, and there shall no torment touch them." It says, "In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery."
Exactly.
So, but in the hands of Yahweh Shemiel Shai, which, you know, we are steadfast in, you know, especially during that period of time that we're going through those pains. You know, Yahweh Shemiel Shai isn't going to allow, you know, the world to get a leg up on us.
Yeah.
All right.
And you know, like you're saying, that verse tell you how the side of it is going to be bad. It said the departure was misery compared to the carnal eye.
Yeah.
You see, so the carnal eye getting beheaded is going to be misery. Oh shit.
I'll finish that out. It says, "And their goings from us to be utter destruction, but they are at peace."
Yeah.
But they are in peace.
Let's go.
We're going to be in the peace of Yahweh Shemiel Shai because of His mercy. All right, He's going to give us peace to go through it. And call Yahweh Shemiel Shai.
All deliverance is painful. Like a baby, like a woman giving birth, you know, the baby and the woman is crying. But
but it's one of the most beautiful acts. Like, you know, you see them afterwards crying and shit.
Yeah,
father coming in,
but like you know, like as a young woman's mind looking at that would be like, I never want to give birth.
That's her biggest fear.
You know, it's like, damn, I have to go through that. So, but like that's these other nations looking at us like, damn, I would never want to go through that. But they don't know our end is peace. You know, they don't know our end is kingship, rulership. That baby is the peace of the world, which of course is Yahweh Shah coming. You know, but also our deliverance as well. But you gonna say something?
Yeah, like I won't get it, but Hebrews 12:2, looking unto Yahweh Shah, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is now set down at the right hand of Yahweh.
Yeah.
So yeah, Yahweh Shah went through the worst of the worst.
That brother know that.
That was my favorite, bro. But nah, hey, nah, but even that, going through it, Yahweh Shah looked forward to something. He wasn't just getting whipped. Just damn. Nah, man, it was for a purpose. So we're suffering for a purpose. The outside looking in, they don't see that purpose because they can't even understand it anyway. That gift wasn't given to them, the gift of faith. So you going through your hell, you going through whatever with that mindset of I'm doing this for a particular reason, and ultimately to get the kingdom. They just looking like, damn, you just suffer, you just going through it. Like, what the fuck? You crazy as hell. Curse the Most High and die. That's what they thinking. So you gotta keep that in mind. To what are you looking for? The same thing that Yahweh Shah was looking forward to, the kingdom, bro.
Hey, can I get this one precept from a lot?
Yeah,
You can break it down, bro, because everything you said through the spirit, right there. Isaiah 66 and verse 7 in the NLT points in verse 9. Well, really all three verses. It says, before the birth pains even begin, Jerusalem gives birth to a son. Who has ever seen anything as strange as this? Who ever heard of such a thing? Has the nation ever been born in a single day? Has the country ever come forth in a mere moment? But by the time Jerusalem's birth pains begin, her children will be born. Would I ever bring this nation to the point of birth and then not deliver it? Asked the Lord. No. He says, no, I would never keep this nation from being born, says your power.
Beautiful, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, what much more is to say? The Lord is going to make do with His promise, man. You know, the Lord had us go through this to build us up and to nourish us, but we got to be delivered, so we got to go through labor. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you ever seen a pregnant woman just stay pregnant for the rest of her life, no, that's that shit coming out, but that baby coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way. You know, so our case as a nation, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans and Israelite foreigners, bro. Listen, we gonna be delivered, starting with the elect.
That's right.
This baby gotta come on out. Deliverance is coming, bro.
Birth pains is here.
Time is short because the water is already broke.
Right.
The knowledge has already been let out.
Yeah.
You know, the highway has been made manifest. She pervertedly dilated.
Crowded.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And I don't know, you know, I can't speak to. I know maybe some brothers who've seen, you know, childbirth.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously it's a painful experience. But it comes to the point to where the woman, she has to accept the pain, and she has to take the instruction of the doctor. You know, like the doctor telling her to put. You know what I'm saying? Push. You know what I'm saying? I had some real quick I wanted to read. I know you want to get back to it.
Yeah, you got it.
This is
It's like bubble shot. It's like, bro. But have you on? Hey, because you made it. Man, that's true, bro. Because when a woman is, delivering that baby, what comes out? Okay, you mentioned that water breaking. You got water and blood.
Mhm.
Now, when Yahweh Shah was pierced by that Roman centurion, what came out? Water and blood.
Mhm.
You know?
Come on, bro.
Mhm.
You got.
I'm gonna read this real quick. This is on verywellmind.com because this is like a therapeutic, like this is what therapists tell like clients.
Yeah.
Something that helps. This is a term that they actually use. It's called radical acceptance. It says radical acceptance can be defined as the ability to accept situations that are outside of your control without judging them, which reduces the suffering they cause. By accepting things for what they are, you can acknowledge your emotions without denying, avoiding, or ignoring the situation. It can be an extremely effective way to process your emotions and manage difficult experiences. So radical acceptance, and that's what we're going to have to do. Not only are we going to accept it, but like we read in 1 Peter 4, we're going to rejoice, So I just want to bring that up.
And
Man.
like you said, that's what it says in Micah. I will bear the intervention of the Lord until he plead my cause. You see, so like I said, accepting it. That's what Yahweh Shah did. He accepted it. And he sat down at the right side of the Father. So how much more his followers?
It's like I was going to add. It's like Marcus Aurelius, I believe, said it. We suffer more often in imagination than reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like a carnal example is like when you go, brothers that have tattoos. I know it's going off, but go to get your first tattoo, you're like, fuck, like you don't know how it's gonna feel, so on and so forth. But then once you actually start going through, you're like, oh, you talking to the dude. But it was a fear in your mind that caused you to have that state of I don't want to say like just being afraid of it.
Yeah,
just
that
yeah.
weight.
Just to add to just real quick, you know, you brought up birth. If I may add just real quick, for those of you who had, I know you watch your child being
Yeah, I
born,
watched that.
and I've seen all three of mine born, and bro, I will tell you, we know these women, known them for years, but in the moment, they're dilating, and to the point where the doctor comes in, all right, it's time to deliver, or something that comes over them, you see it. Me and being there's truth now. I understand, man. That's the Lord. So look on their face, man, bro. That's just like, yeah, it's like it's almost like they're unrecognizable in that moment. It truly is, man. It's just something where they're just like, it's just automatic. It's just they're locked in. It's like the Lord at that point is just taking over their whole spirit, bro. You can see it in their face. I've been in awe just watching it, just watching them, like, man, wow. So yeah, it's heavy.
It's heavy you mention that because it's like when you think about the whole process, they're being told they know they're gonna have a baby. It's kind of like we know the Lord coming. They got that whole 9 months to pretty much think about it. Then they get there, they dilate, and then it's not as quick because you get the contraction, they get shorter. Now you gotta get ready because that's when that's and they, like you said, they lock in.
They snap in, bro.
They lock in and they push. 1, 2, 3, push. They can't even get it ready.
Man, bro, but they just like, I'm doing it. Their whole face is like, I'm doing it. There ain't no like, I gotta do it. It's a beautiful sight, bro.
And you see them. Now I was gonna say, you see them moving harder when they tell the when the doctor will be like, we see the baby head, boy, that's when they really lock in, and we see the baby head, like we see the prophecies happening.
Yeah, bro,
Like,
it's heavy.
shit, we gotta take.
Yeah,
See that?
they just honed in, bro. Yeah, it's an amazing thing to see, bro.
But what does Esau give you? He gives you C-sections.
Yeah.
What's that numbing cream?
Epidurals.
Epidural. He wants to try to numb everything.
Yep.
See, but your house shot like, no, you gonna do this the hard way.
Yep.
Esau, this C hip is the way out. At least it appears to be.
Yep.
Yeah, because that epidural, what it's doing is allow the body to take back to sleep. It's like, nah, man, you ain't gonna feel no pain. I mean, taking trouble isn't going to happen. Hey, here we are.
And those needles are dangerous too, bro.
Yeah,
they can. This doctor, just on the side note, he put the epidural needle in my woman's back, man, and had a call and left the room with the needle in her back, bro.
That's crazy.
When I talk about I snapped on this dude, man, he left the room, needle in her back, any little, and she could, bro, I couldn't believe that, bro. This fucking devil left the room, bro, with the needle in her back, man.
Medical error, like the #1 cause of death, if I'm not mistaken.
He was an evil motherfucker, man. He knew he was bringing in the Jake. He was just a wicked motherfucker, man. Yeah, bro, I'll never forget that, bro.
And that's something that the Lord promised Eve. Hey, childbirth. So who the fuck are we to try to, go somewhere else, go to Esau for alleviation? We gotta feel this pain.
That's right. That's right, bro.
You get your precept because I know you never got it, so
I got you.
It's good times, man. It's Psalms 31 and 23. Oh, love of the Lord, or it says Psalms 31 and 23. Oh, love the Lord, Yahweh, all ye saints, for the Lord preserveth the faithful, and plentiful rewardeth the proud doer. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. All ye that hope in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua.
Let's go, man.
Now you got it.
I was just gonna add on to the point that the Lord, like when we go through things, like He's strengthening our heart, like He's strengthening us up, through our trust, though. So like it's a natural state that, like almost an animalistic state, like that we'll get in, where it's just a survival mode. Natural things where your body just it numbs out the pain. Like you have endorphins that get rushed to your body if you break a bone. Things that can kind of hold back that pain, but like it's all relative on what you focused on. If you focused on the break, then it's gonna hurt more. If you focused on, not looking at it and keeping your mind centered on something else and just your breath work, right, then you'll be preserved from that pain.
Hey, that's facts. When you look at that shit.
Yeah, you start to rationalize. You start to try to fix the problem.
Yeah,
but we know that there's a problem that can't be fixed. It's something we're gonna have to go through.
I got it.
What is it? I know I know Tom getting. I want to get to a point in the script in the chapter real quick. So hold on, a piece of real quick.
What scripture say? Through childbearing she shall be delivered.
That's what you no, that's what I was thinking.
That's
yeah. When you start talking about that,
spiritually, who's that woman?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I was child once.
Man.
So through childbirth, we got
Yeah, exactly. Did you have a
It's
precept?
cold, ain't it?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. What is it called? We'll get to get back to that
okay.
and read some more.
Daniel 3 and verse 14. Let's see.
Now you read verse. You read verse 15, so you're in verse 16 right now.
Okay. Daniel 3 and 16. This is Nebuchadnezzar speaking. He said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter.
So it was like, in other words, they said, we don't give a damn how you feel. They like, it's no easy way to tell somebody that I'm not going to balance bullshit. You know, there's no easy way to openly disrespect somebody. Like, you know, so there's no like, we're going to tell you straight up what it is, you know. So we'll pull this real quick.
God, this is wisdom of Solomon 5, start at 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him and have made no account of his labors.
Exactly. That's what you see happening. They standing in great boldness of the one, well, because the one's afflicted. They're in captivity under Babylon, under
Right.
Nebuchadnezzar. And that's the same thing now. When we be brought before the king of this, brought before Esau, we're going to stand in great boldness. You know, the Lord's going to, we've been going into it, and the Lord's going to put a certain type of spirit upon us, man. We're going to stand in great boldness in the face of our enemies. You had a precept?
Yeah, kind of. That's to maximize on that point that guys made. You know, Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 15. It says, "This the people saw," because this is Enoch. You know, it says, "This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid up in their minds that His grace and His mercy is with the saints, and He that hath respect unto His children." All right, because we're gonna look at Esau. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, fuck this shit, man. You know, I would rather be with the how about Shimon Shai than to be with you. You know, and he's gonna be like, oh, like what? No, you know. But in our minds, you know, through the spirit of probably how about Shimon Shai, you know, yeah, we're casting off this world. You know,
Beautiful point.
That was on that one. Yeah,
Yeah, that was it.
You jump back to the Daniel Bible, sure.
Daniel 3 and 17 says, if it be so, our power, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. And if he will not deliver us out of thine hand, O king, but if not, be it known unto you, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Exactly. So it was like, hey, we're not gonna bow down with the Lord. The Lord delivers not. It's like fuck it, you know. But we're not gonna we're not gonna renounce our loyalty to Yahweh Shah. That's gonna be the mindset of the elect, man. They're gonna be in this captain. We just mentioned, you know, certain brothers will be martyrs. The scriptures speak about it, but they're not gonna renounce their loyalty to the Lord, because at the end of the day, the Lord promised them immortality. He said he's going to raise them up. You read about that. Paul said, can't nothing keep you from the love of the Lord. Not death, nothing. So the Lord going to raise. We're not scared of death. Now, of course, your flesh is a natural. Your flesh is always going to fear death. You know, might get a cross, whatever. But we know the spirit, when the spirit kick in, it's not going to phase. Just like it did Stephen. He was being stoned to death. So it didn't, but it didn't phase him. You got precept?
Yeah, real quick before you got it, bro. Revelation 12 and 11 and 14. It says, and they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony. And they did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die.
Read that again, Bob.
Yeah, it said Revelation 12, verse 11 in LT. It says, and they have defeated him by the blood of the Lamb and by their testimony. And they did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die.
They defeated by the blood and the testimony, you see. The blood and the testimony, they had the mindset that they, like scripture say, we had not a continuous here, but we seek one to come. So they didn't care about their life on this side. That's the thing with a lot of people. They fear death because of the things they have on this side, which a lot of niggas don't have shit, but the things they have on this side.
Right.
See? That's why Esau, that's why we brothers bring them up a lot. You got Peter Thiel. What's the main thing a lot of these Edomites talk about when it comes to AI? Where they really they're amazed at the aspect of pretty much being able to access a point of life where they be immortal. You know, transhumanism. You see why? Because Esau don't want to die because he has a lot of particular things. He knows Esau does understand reincarnation, but he'd rather just not fucking die. You know, he'd rather just still be alive and still be able to do what he want to do. And that tells right there how the mindset of a lot of people is afraid of death, but we're not afraid of death. Yahweh shall conquer. Yahweh shall conquer death. We follow the same footsteps. We gonna conquer death too. You see?
And what Sirach, I believe the 40th or 41st chapter says, the remembrance is death. The remembrance of death is bitter to him that had riches.
Yeah.
So, and that's why King Solomon said, vanity of vanity, all is vanity. It's like, what in heaven all this, I'm gonna still die. So he saw once what we had, we're gonna have the riches, the honor, everything, plus immortality. So we're gonna be able to enjoy all that forever.
And that's also in that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2, because they turned their lives to be they wanted to live forever, because they had so much riches, just to say. Yeah, the wicked.
You keep going in Daniel.
Daniel 3 and 19. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Exactly. So his special expression changed at that one. You see, he had an exaggerated reaction to that. No telling how they said it to him. This is it's not. Don't go through like, hey, this is word for word what they said. They said it like this. They was yelling. We don't know exactly how they said it, but we do know that they said we ain't gonna answer you carefully. You see, you go ahead.
But you got to feel it. Put yourself in
Yeah,
Nebuchadnezzar's shoes.
Yeah.
Because he had them up in a very high, prominent position.
Exactly.
Like I said earlier, they were set over the affairs of his province. So
Yeah.
that was like treason times 10. Because, like, man, I trusted you. Like, this is what you, this the thanks I get. So he says, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it want to be heated.
So they turned it up. He turned it up a lot. It said 7 times more. He turned it up a lot, man. A lot. Not a little bit, a lot. That's how mad he was. And like the priest mentioned earlier, dying by fire is not a light thing. Like being put in the fire, like that plus with the flesh, because you gotta think about a lot of motherfuckers. Some people survive being burned, and they just be looking fucked. They just fucked up. It's like, damn, you see them before and after they got burned. This all the extra like ears and nose, that shit gone. Fire took that eyelid probably gone. No face or none of that. So you gotta imagine the agony they was when they was in the fire, man, and then dying from the shit, man. You see?
That's why the Lord got the second death by the way of fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you burn and you suffocate at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's like you losing air and you just gasping for it, and that fire is going down your inside to your body, that smoke, that steam,
your lungs inside out.
burn you inside out. You gasping for air. That's why it says the tongues is gonna be
melting their mouth.
Yeah, melting their mouth and their eyes.
Why they on their feet?
And you have neurons in you have more, I believe, nerves in your eyes and in your tongue than any part of your body, because it's like the most two. Without those, you kind of you're through. You miss, So like it's got like those are very like intricate body parts. So yeah, it's a terrible way to go out.
Exactly.
I got one.
You close that.
Okay, this is the Rock 27 and 5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessel. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So
No. I cut you out. So
I'm reading again. Sirach 27 and 5. The furnace proveth the potter's vessel. All right. In the spirit, we're liking it to vessels. In the Lord's will, we're vessels fitted for mercy, and deliverance. And that furnace that the Lord allowed Nebuchadnezzar to put Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah in. It proved that they were elect men. They were that golden wedge of Ophir.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, that makes me think like the Azariah. The Lord likes him on the gold and silver. He said he's going to bring him to the fire, right? You see, so like you said, it showed like what type of metal. Look, that's all they're looking for. He's looking for the gold and silver. That's the elect, and that showed their mind, showed that their faith was gold and silver. You see, like, hey, good, because in this sense, when you read the rest of it, which I do. I'll finish it. So I'll read less and I get the song of the 3 older children could be get to it. But essentially, they got put in the fire and nothing happened.
Because everybody want to talk about, oh, I want to be close to the Lord. I want to be close to the Lord. But do you?
Yeah.
Because He's a consuming fire.
Right.
So the closer you get to the Lord, the more fire you're going to feel.
Yep.
Either He's going to burn you up, or you're going to get cleaner. You're going to get more purified and get closer to the Lord.
Because it's going to take away that dross.
Yep.
You know?
Right. Most people can't handle that.
Yep.
They can't handle that. You know, you feel a little heat and they want to, in the flesh, your flesh naturally wants to, you know, repel. And that's a state, that's the mindset of people.
I burned my thigh with the iron the other day. I was like, fuck.
Mhm.
You know, one this shit
Yeah.
bothered me for like 2 days.
And you think about it, you see it day to day. I remember, I think I got a comment at this point, but man, nigga can't go fucking hour, fucking shit, fucking 10 minutes without a snack.
Yeah.
Like, think about it, nigga. I'm at the job site. I'm sitting there pushing God into me as fast. I'm sitting there fasting when I'm at work till like 12. Nigga, man, I gotta get a snack. I'm like, damn, nigga, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. What you need a snack for?
Stop at the gas station.
Exactly, gotta get a snack. Nigga, you just ate your breakfast. That's true. Tomorrow, I gotta get a snack. Shit, nigga, got a hell of snacks in the show. Like, that's the little heat from the fire right there. To be disciplined not to eat at a certain time. My niggas can't do that shit.
Yeah, the gym I go to, you know, they got the sauna or whatnot.
Yeah.
And niggas go in the sauna for like 2 minutes. Like, bro,
Yeah.
I'm 15 minutes in, I'm meditating, you know, motherfucker, you know, try to open up the doors. Like, what you doing?
I was going to say, hey, Jack ain't got no.
You can't just sit there and feel it.
Yeah.
You gotta just be able to sit there and feel that shit, bro.
So we'll close that out on yours, Roberto. You got it.
Yeah, going into the point, actually, Mark chapter 14 and verse I'll start at 22. It says, and they bring him unto the place Golgotha, which is being interpreted the place of a skull, which is where he was crucified. Verse 23 is the point. And they gave him to drink wine mingled with myrrh, but he received it not. So Yahushua rejected that, because that will alleviate some of the pain that he already had. You know, he got carried his cross. He got helped by, of course, a man. All right, but he got flogged. He got slapped. All this crazy stuff, being up for days on end, all of that. But Yahushua actually refused it. Yeah. But why? I just typed in on Google that precept and why he refused it, and it popped up an AI overview, because that's what happens now. They give you an AI overview. Yeah. And it says, Yahushua refused the wine mixed with myrrh offered to him at his crucifixion, primarily to embrace the fullness of the suffering appointed to him by Yahweh for the sake of humanity's redemption.
And you think about that, imagine if somebody was purifying gold and they half-assed. That shit ain't pure. So you see, if we want to be purified, we want to, get those new bodies. We can't half-ass. We can't not want to embrace the suffering. That's needed. We can't half-ass it.
I was gonna say also, like when the Levitical priest was to offer up actual animal sacrifices, it wasn't none of that for the animal, like to alleviate the pain. Like, it had to be pure. It had to be this particular type of thing.
Right. It kind of goes after that, and I'm done. But I'll just read the rest of it. It says, he sought to be fully conscious and aware of the pain, fulfilling scripture, and ensuring his role as the perfect sacrifice for sins. Additionally, okay, well, yeah, that's the point.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so you had a point. I mean, you can say the point. We're gonna play that. You can say the point.
I was gonna say too, because like with Yahushua, of course, he's the chief example of him fulfilling his name, which is Yahweh saves, or but like he earned that within his death.
Yeah.
And so did Stephen. Stephen's name means crown, but he earned that within his death. And a lot of men, they earned their names through their death in scriptures. And just like the story which we read, when you read chapter 1, it goes into how Nebuchadnezzar, when they came into Babylon, their names was changed. They had to amalgamate themselves to that captivity, and they had to associate themselves with that, and it was all in an attempt to break them down.
Yeah.
So like in this walk, brothers have been given new names. We've received names, and we got to fulfill those too. But it might just be through our death.
Yeah.
So your name can't mean strong, and then you go out like a whole ass nigga.
Right. You be weak as fuck.
Yeah. Your name can't be meek or humble. We think that we deserve a higher, like spiritual power at the time. We don't get it. So it's like the name you've been given is for a reason. It's given in the spirit. we was all born in the spirit,
Yeah.
so we gotta fulfill that too. Meditate on that.
Sure. If I may say, because the name that you're given, you know, your name isn't living up to you. You're living up to it.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So like, and then on top of that, your name is given by the presbytery, right, by the elders.
Mm-hmm.
The elders didn't just open the book, point a finger and be like, yeah, I'll just name that. No, they did a diligent search. They each and every one of the brothers that got their names from the elders, you know, the elders sat on that. You know, like, how does this brother exemplify, you know, his walk?
Yeah.
You know, so like, yeah, I'm just saying.
Even the name from your parents, because the Lord said He knew us in our womb. So you might have a name, you might hit double name. You know, it's like, damn, I gotta fulfill it, man.
Yeah, okay. Hey, beautiful points, man. Lord's will sometimes I'll go into the prayer at 5 to the Holy Children. But yeah, Lord, this is edifying to the power spirit of Yahweh and Shai. So did you out from your brethren? You're gonna get up and say, call law.
Yeah.
Let me get the honors to the apostles and the elders of the mill, so y'all will say shalom.
Shalom.